Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Subscribe to the channel. Follow us on all our social media platforms. On Instagram, Prince Miller Entertainment. Facebook, Prince Miller Entertainment. We're available on our Facebook group, which is Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Welcome to another edition of our daily news on breaking news. Today is the 8th of July 2021. So guys, let us see that most of us need to be aware of. While ordinary business can continue to operate between 8 a.m. and 3:30 p.m., those working late and those not at home after the 6:30 p.m. curfew must now produce evidence such as an exemption letter that they are providing an essential service, the government said yesterday. The 3 hours between 3:30 p.m. when most businesses must close and 6:30 p.m. when the curfew comes into effect is seen as adequate for staff in the general economy to clear their workplace and get home. The cabinet agreed on Tuesday that better enforcement of the lockdown was required because there was an element of non-compliance of the enhanced lockdown measures. These measures were added to the standard lockdown in the middle of last month, basically a ban on social and religious gatherings except for funerals of related people, with business meetings now to be virtual. There was a further tightening last week by President Mnangagwa, mainly an extended curfew, narrower business hours, and a ban on intercity passenger travel, and 60% of staff to be working from home. Some people were confused by Cabinet's decision to demand better compliance and not hoped by some misleading interpretations put on social media platforms. Putting the position straight in an interview, Secretary for Information, Publicity and Broadcasting Services, Mr. Nick Mangwana, said there had been no new changes in the lockdown regulation and almost all economic activity could continue in the same way as it had since the shorter hours announced last week. But enforcement of the 3:30 p.m. deadline for close of most business and the 6:30 p.m. curfew was being improved by requiring those who needed to remain open later and those who had not been out and about after curfew needed to be able to show they were exempted. The position is that all businesses will be allowed to operate but should do so within the stipulated time, which is 3:30 p.m. The expectation is that between 3:30 p.m. and 6:30 p.m. should be going home ahead of a curfew set at 6:30 p.m. After 3:30 p.m., only essential services as spelled out by the law are allowed to open, said Mr. Mangwana. He reminded businesses and others that they were expected to reduce their workforces on business premises by riding on technological platforms, would work from home, and meetings should be held virtually where possible. Intercity passenger travel remained banned, and law enforcement agencies will continue to enforce this, with those seeking an exemption going through their normal procedure and providing evidence of why they needed an exemption. Police have been stopping people traveling after curfew, seeking an explanation and recording details even when they accept their travel is legitimate. The enhanced measures were put in place and the school holidays were extended to help combat a third wave of COVID-19 infection spreading from initial hotspots and that were put under the tighter lockdown controls earlier. Cabinet deployed government ministers to the provinces to access the position, and reports indicating compliance of the lockdown was constrained by a number of factors. There was a shortage of some PPE, misinformation on vaccines about their alleged negative effects, and a shortage of health workers at some stations. During the post-cabinet meeting briefing, Information and Publicity and Broadcasting Secretary said some district hospitals such as Nyanga and Chipinge require bulk oxygen tanks, while some like Zwimba in Mashonaland West and Plumtree and Gwanda in Matabeleland South required functional isolation centers. Construction work at Mvuru Hospital in Mashonaland Central needed to be quickly completed to meet the current rising demand. Funerals were singled out as a major spreaders of infection within the provinces. Environmental health workers and police are now enforcing the 30% limit, while village health workers were playing their part in educating villagers. Cabinet wanted traditional leaders to be more visible and forceful in the enforcement of lockdown regulations. Mr. Mchangwa said it had been noted that public servants were facing problems of inadequate tools of trade such as desktops, laptops and vehicles, including provision of adequate data to ensure compliance of the requirement that only 40% staff should be in the workstations with the rest working from home. All efforts are being made to reassess the situation. There was often poor network connectivity for both staff reporting for duty and those working from home, and some provincial task force indicated that there were erratic fuel supply and inadequate vehicles for operations. The start of the second school term will see a combination of face-to-face teaching, remote home learning, community learning, and the use of alternative platforms such as e-learning, radio, and television. Information Capacity and Broadcasting Services Minister Monica Mchangwa said the cabinet meeting on Tuesday all schools are at present being inspected to ensure they have finalized their COVID-19 preventive measures and they have the basic equipment they need. So guys, that's the latest here regarding to Nyaye lockdown here. And again, you need to be home before 6:30, otherwise because we need an exemption letter kana uri an essential service provider from your company kana from your employer kuti munhu igoyo anoshanda pakati musiye apfure. But kana usina that letter yoyo, then police vanenge vane right yekukusunga and akutele kuti this is not the good time to be arrested because chipangoye winter time. And akutele kuti kurarama seu momo yaomana nekutonyora kuita chando at the moment. This won't be good. So we need to be at home before 6:30 and again do time yekutoti munhu wese anenge akwenda kumba ipapo at about 3:30 4 o'clock munhu wese anenge atomhanyira kuda se kuti asvike kumba time iripo. And again nyaya transport they need to address nyaya transport so that vanhu vakwanisa kuonawo achifambawo time iripo. And again nyaya prices ndoimwe nyaya futi yekutoti vanhu vakawanda they're now going for private vehicles instead kwenda kuzopo. And so ngatitaure in the comment section. This is daily news on breaking news on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. And again they are also monitoring zvikoro kuti zvakamira sei regarding to nyaya COVID-19 kuti pane measures ari kuitwa kuita kuti second term here extend where maybe in few weeks time the government will announce kuti zvikoro zvivhurwe and vana vatange zvakare kuenda kuchikoro. So hatipangu yakaoma. At the same time life should move on and upenyu hafana kumira because of COVID-19. So the government is trying by all means to make sure kuti both the learners and the teachers are protected against this COVID-19 wave iripo at the moment. And so ngatitaure in the comment section. And remember guys kuti you need to be at home before 6:30 p.m. Please home before 6:30 p.m. and ngatichekomba time dziripo and don't be caught nemapurisa security forces maroadroom usina tsamba at the same time usiku. It will end in tears. So you need to be at home before 6:30 p.m. and ngatingotedzera zvavari kuda. At the same time we need to sanitize, wearing my face mask and also distancing. Ngatingogara tichingoremember kuti hatifana kungoungana zvisina style. We need to practice our social distancing. We need to wear my face mask. Let's take it seriously because people are dying out there. Wanda vari kubatwa neCovid-19 vasingafungidzire. So your health is your wealth. Vakarwara chete zvinhu zvinobva zvatongodhakwa zvese, both financially, emotionally and physically. Saka you need to protect your health, you need to protect yourself, you need to protect your loved ones. And so ngatitaure in the comment section. This is news on breaking news on Prince Miller Entertainment TV. Remember guys to turn on the notification bell not to miss any of our new uploads. We upload each and every day. Follow us on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, and also on our Facebook group, which is Prince Miller Entertainment TV, and also on our Facebook page, which is Prince Miller Entertainment. And thank you very much for listening and watching. Bless up.